Okay, we'll bring the meeting to order. Where's the American flag?
Over here.
Okay. So we'll start with, this is being taped by Area 58, with that announcement. And join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, if you would, please. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. First thing would be approval of the minutes.
Move to approve the following Selectmen's minutes. Regular session March 12th, 2024. Regular session March 26th, 2024.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. Warrants and commitments.
I move to approve the following commitments and warrants. That's what I said. Did I not say it? No, sorry. Affirm the approval. Vendor warrant number 89 for $325,632.06. School warrant number 90 for $437,332.31. Ambulance commitment from 3/18/2024 to 3/24/2024 for $17,284.69. Ambulance commitments from 3/25/2024 to 3/31/2024 for $55,744.82.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. More warrants.
I move to approve the following warrants. Payroll warrant number 91 for $452,986.32. Vendor warrant number 92 for $146,042.29. Withholding warrant number 93 for $155,260.98.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. Executive session minutes. Now, I don't really know what these are all about.
These are all, so the law requires that we regularly go through and release executive session minutes when the matters for which they were discussed are completed. So you can see it's one of those things, I think, through the transitionary period of the last years, it may have fallen through the cracks, so we're trying to get caught back up. So Pam and I worked through 2016 to 2019 and reviewed anything where the matters are completed. These are all regarding bargaining that took place during these discussions, and all of the specific bargaining has been completed for all of these meetings.
Okay. We have a motion to release the executive minutes as listed on our agenda.
Sure. Can I move it just like that?
That's fine, as long as you say as printed in the agenda.
As printed in the agenda. Yes, I'll move that.
Okay, we have a second?
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. Okay, moving right along. Regionalization of pond management. I know I got copied on a letter from the Hanson Board of Select Board Chairperson, Laura Fitzgerald Kemet. Just read that. It's the same one that Cody got. Writing to see if your town might be interested in joining Hanson and other Plymouth County towns in exploring whether the Plymouth County Commissioners could take on a role in pond management. Currently, each town has its own pond management plan and allocates funds for this purpose. We believe there may be scales of economy and thus savings if we band together in solving this problem. We recognize that the Conservation Commission in each town would need to be a part of the discussion, as will the Select Board in each town. My reason for reaching out is to gauge whether your town might be interested in opening up a dialogue with Plymouth County Commissioners regarding this. Not asking for any commitment, we are just inquiring whether you would like to join us in this conversation. At a recent meeting, and this is sent on March 23rd, at a recent meeting with the Plymouth County Commissioners, they indicated they'd be willing to explore supporting pond management if a sufficient number of towns indicated they would like them to do so. And that's what we're here for, right?
Yeah, that's exactly it.
I think it's a great idea. Pond has been a problem for us, at least Monpont for a long time. And as with a lot of the things that go on, we can't really affect as much good by ourselves. We really need to have everybody on, pulling in the same direction, and maybe the state and everybody else will pay a little bit of attention to us, which they don't usually. So I would recommend that we do indicate our interest. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, I view it as a strength in numbers thing, right? So, it can't hurt to kick the tires on it and see if we can make it work and use our numbers to help us.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind sitting down with them, discussing what's going on with it, and
Yep.
seeing how it can help us.
One of the things, this came about because the county is really looking to provide more services to its member communities. So they held a couple of meetings with town managers, administrators, and some of the boards throughout the county. And this is one of the things that came up, so Hanson's kind of taking the lead on this one. But there's several things that we discussed that they may look to, potentially regionalize. So special needs transportation, as you know, is a huge issue. The county may look to take a lead on that. So at this point, it's very preliminary stages, but just wants to know what topics we'd be interested and who would be interested to see if it's something that the county should further, investigate. So yeah, that's basically where that comes from. The county did purchase a machine of some sorts that basically would, I don't know if basically dredge up kind of those old plants and thick mud. So there may be opportunity for that. And then we use Solitude right now for our lake management. So, rather than us individually procuring that, as you said, it may be more cost effective if there was a group of, 4 or 5, 10 communities, and we all had a contract with Solitude through the county, well, then it could reduce the cost. So those are just some ideas that came up. I have no clue what actually would take place, but I just wanted to know what our interest level was.
I think our interest level's high.
I think it'd be short-sighted to just say no, so let's check it out.
I think the county's looking for things to do, sort of, in a way. They like to stay important.
Busy, yeah.
I do think, though, on that dredging machine, that I would not necessarily be in favor of that, just that's an aside. We did that once here 30 years ago, and they cut all the weeds down, and it's a whole big project, and then what it actually did is it reseeded it.
Spread it out.
Spread it out and made it even worse, so that's not a good idea, but, okay, so we can contact
I can respond
Hanson?
to them and let them know that we would definitely be interested in exploring it. With Jeremy.
Oh,
Yeah, come on up, Jeremy.
Chairman Gillespie, 9 Ridgeview. Yeah, I think, Chairman Bruno, what you're probably thinking about was maybe like a harvester machine. What they have is dredging equipment to actually remove like built-up muck in the bottom of the lake that right now actually we probably need because the lake is filling in with sediment, which causes everything to kind of rise up.
yeah.
That's why we're all flooded out right now. But definitely, I think that some positive things with Plymouth County. The harvesting equipment actually is something we should look into because they've gotten a lot more advanced with the equipment that they're able to pull it out from the root, which is less problematic to native vegetation, which the chemicals are. So like when last time the ponds were treated, there was a lot of damage to the native vegetation, which is really bad for the water quality and everything else. And I talked to him about it. And so the drought that happened afterward was part of it, and they're working on some new chemicals that won't be so damaging to native plants. But I definitely think there's something positive to see here with some new equipment. The dredging equipment, definitely, that will take years to get done through DEP, but basically what you try to do is take the deepest section of the lake and dredge a small amount as possible because that disturbs the least amount, and then that would be a good thing for the lake. So I think we should definitely look into it.
I think with county involvement in all the towns, we'll have a lot of, we'll have greater access to whatever technology and experts there are that would be able to come up with a plan that will most likely work. I mean, never a guarantee, of course, but we'll try to do the best we can. And I think the more assets we pull into it, the better off we're going to be. So it's a great idea. Yep. Okay. Any other discussion on the regionalization of pond management? So we're going to send a letter. Okay. Next would be the special and annual town meeting warrant. So this has been changed slightly since the last time we looked at it about last meeting, I think.
Yeah, I can go through those changes. Just
Yeah.
one moment to make a comment here. Okay. So you all should have copies of the warrant. So one of the changes to note is we have historically always included the line item budgets for the school department, Silver Lake, and the elementary school. They don't have line item budgets, so hence we cannot include those in the warrant this year. So we are making a note that the figures just are not available at the time of print. The goal would be that they would have them sometime over the next couple of weeks. As soon as we get them, we will upload them to our website as an attachment, and we also will have them printed as an attachment at town meeting. Let's see, Article 1 is, this is...
Standard,
Yep,
that's
standard. Article 2 is the wage and personnel bylaw changes that you guys had voted as part of wage and personnel. Article 3 is the salaries of elected officials. Operating 4 is the operating budget as recommended by the Finance Committee, which they voted last night.
They did. Okay. Did they make any changes to what we were talking about before, or it's...
Nope, we just made the changes to reflect what they had discussed at the joint meeting that Wednesday. There were further reductions.
Okay.
Article 5 sets the maximum spending limits for the revolving funds. Article 6 is the transfer to our reserve fund, so we transfer $75,000 for our general fund and $50,000 for our water department reserve fund. Article 7 is the potential approval of the solar pilot on River Street. Again, this is one our assessor and council are still working to fully negotiate that solar pilot. If we do not have that within the next week or so, that will just be something we skip over at town meeting, so it's more a placeholder. As soon as we have that, if we do, again, we'll post that and share that as an attachment at town meeting. Article 8 is the capital plan. Article 9, so this is one that the board does need to make a decision on. This is the Community Preservation Act. So you previously had voted to include it in the warrant, but you didn't decide what percentage you want it in the warrant. So I have it in as a 1% surcharge, but you never officially voted on what percentage you want to. So I know Jonathan had some thoughts and ideas on this.
Yeah, I mean, I know we're fiscally in a tough spot right now, but I do feel like if we came in at a 1.5%, that might be more beneficial, I think, to have it passed as opposed to a 1. But I wanted to hear what you guys thought. Again, at the meeting, it can be easier to come down as opposed to up. So I feel like if we went in at 1%, we're probably locking ourselves in at 1%. But if we went in at 1.5%, we would have a little bit more flexibility.
I think that's a good idea. I mean, it gives the town a little bit of choice, you know, I mean, if the town is interested in. Again, these are articles that we propose, doesn't necessarily mean they're done deal. It has to be done, it has to be voted by the town meeting as to whether or not to even do it.
Sure.
And the town meeting has the opportunity here to also reduce the number if they think it's
Sure,
important to
yeah,
do
we
that.
can get into it on the floor, absolutely. But I'd like the wordage to be 1.5, if you guys are okay with that.
No, I like 1.5.
Yep, okay, that's good.
Like you said, it's easier to go down than up.
Yep.
Okay, anything else about this one?
Just make that change. And you want to leave all the exemptions in, correct?
Please.
Now, you will want to speak to this?
Sure, if that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep, you've
Yeah,
got
I'll
passion.
work with the state and we'll put something together.
So Article 10 is the $3,500 to the South Coastal County Legal Services. This is an annual article. Article 11 is the same thing, but $3,500 to the South Shore Resource and Advocacy Center. That's an annual article. 12 is another annual article, $150 for the use of the County Cooperative Extension Service. Article 13 is to increase the demand fee from $5 to $15. Article 14 is the part-time school resource officer at Silver Lake Middle School. We fund 2/3 of that, and Plimpton funds 1/3 of that. So that number is 2/3 of a part-time officer. The Finance Committee did not recommend it because the rate is a detail rate of approximately $70 or $72 an hour. So they had concerns of, us paying such a high rate.
Yeah, that's,
Why is it on a detail rate?
That's how Kingston charges us.
And Kingston, like, I think our detail rate, I haven't looked at it closely in a while, but it used to be we had a different rate for town events as opposed to private.
Unfortunately, it's not a town detail. It's because it's for Silver Lake
It's a
Middle
regional.
School.
Yeah. $70 an hour is,
It seems like a lot of money.
Considerable.
For somebody who's going to be there all the time.
yeah.
Article 15 is an additional $25,000 to fund an HVAC unit at the high school. Last town meeting, we approved $100,000 for it. Unfortunately, the project was delayed through the school district, and they anticipate the cost being an increase of another $25,000 to us. So we need to allocate additional funding for that.
Why wouldn't this be proposed by Silver Lake instead of the Board of Selectmen?
Because they haven't presented us with a final figure, but they are delayed in that because the other two communities funded it with ARPA funding, so they have flexibility of getting the numbers to them. We unfortunately are funding it through out of our stabilization fund, so we have to have the figure for town meeting, so they haven't formally proposed it yet. They just have, in discussions, let us know that they're going to need more money. Article 16 is the new article, $75,000 to cover unemployment costs from our free cash. Article 17 is the election warrant, and then we do have one article on the special town meeting warrant. This is another placeholder article. The school, you may recall, has said that they anticipate a deficit in their special education line item. They do not know to what extent, and they also do not know. They seem to think that they're going to be able to cover the deficit with their other line items in the budget. They've implemented a spending freeze, but they do not have that information ready, so we wanted to put a placeholder article in case we do have to fund the current year deficit to some extent. It's there, and hopefully we don't have to use this, but we wanted to have it and be prepared.
Just in case.
I have a question on 10 and 11. I know there's things that have been around forever. At one point in time, they were always petition articles, so I guess we've taken that over. But do you think before the town meeting, we can get a little information from each of these two entities as to what they do for people in Halifax? They should have some statistics that say, we serve so many of these and so many of those. At least that way, if the questions come up, we can say, that's what they do.
Yeah, they send us annual reports and we can provide that
I
too.
just got one today for one of them.
Okay, good,
And it just
perfect.
says what they do in household or something like that, what the numbers are, So
Okay.
they do send us something quarterly.
Yeah. No, I know they do good work. I just want to be able to have some statistics. When we do the three-ring notebook, I would like to have that in mind anyway, next to Article 10 and Article 11, so that I have that information handy.
Yeah.
All right. Any questions on the annual or special town meeting warrant? No?
No.
We need to vote to approve it, right? Yep. So I'll make a motion that we approve the special town meeting, you want them separately or do them the same?
You can do it in the same.
We'll do a motion to approve the warrant for the annual town meeting of May 13th, 2024, and the special town meeting also of May 13th, 2024.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. That's the smallest warrant I've ever
I
seen.
know, it's a leaflet.
Okay, deregulation, a delegation regarding educational funding letter.
So it should, I printed out a draft. This is something that Selectman Seeley had requested, so I'll let him explain. So
Sure.
No, updated one's actually printed for you, John.
Oh, it's printed one? Okay. So I noticed with our education budgeting process this year, it's been challenging. And to me, it felt like a lot of the challenges weren't necessarily on the municipal side, but more on a lack of support at the state level. So I felt like it was worth us as a board to send letters to the State House leadership, just to convey how frustrating the process is, where we're seeing these giant spikes in special education costs, but the state isn't really meeting those costs for us. So what we're seeing happening is we're unfortunately general education students are often feeling the crunch because of these rising special education costs. So I penned a letter here, and I think it's worth it to let them know that we feel like we need a little bit more support at the state level. If you want, I can read it, or if you're okay with
I
your
have
thoughts.
one question. I assume you have, but you coordinated with the school, so for the statistics and stuff that is
Sure, yeah,
here?
yeah. I have worked with the schools, and I've done my own research as well, so I don't get too nitty-gritty, but essentially the crux of the matter is rising special ed costs and not enough support at the state level to help offset those costs. So that's kind of the crux of the letter that I put together.
I mean, I read it, it's good, but you can read it if you like, you're going it on
It's-
TV.
If you want to read it, you can.
Okay, here we go. So we have it to different, we have, like, this one is to Speaker Ron Mariano. Dear Speaker, Halifax Board of Selectmen is writing to ask the House and Senate leadership to consider two key education funding practices as you debate the proposed budget. Firstly, in the board's opinion, the state's current circuit breaker formula, Mass General Law, Chapter 71B5A, needs updating. As you're likely aware, the cost of special education, as well as special education transportation, has been soaring in recent years. In addition to the rising cost, the demand for these services continues to climb, thanks in large part to the fallout of the recent pandemic. Unfortunately, the rate of reimbursement from the state, as it's currently constituted, has not been keeping pace with the increases. What we're seeing here in Halifax and in numerous communities throughout the Commonwealth is that to cover the special education funding gap, school districts are being forced to cut services to the general student population. The fact that a municipality happens to have a greater number of special needs students should not mean less for the rest of its students. But unfortunately, as the system currently stands, that is now indeed the case. The other issue we're asking you to consider is how Chapter 70 handles inflation. The current law caps the annual adjustment at 4.5%, but for fiscal year 24 it was 8, for fiscal year 23 it was 7. So with the cost of everything continuing to rise at such a rapid pace, it's the board's opinion that the state at least considers providing catch-ups for this year's plan from the current 1.3.5% to at least the 4.5% cap number to avoid a fiscal cliff. Education has historically been one of the many attributes that makes Massachusetts such a desirable state. Without a doubt, being a leader in education throughout the country is a significant driver of our robust and ever-evolving economy. We hope the administration will consider our recommendation to make these changes that will ensure that the Commonwealth as a whole, and our schools in particular, continue to shine. Respectfully submitted, Halifax Board of
It's
Selectmen.
well done, thank you.
All right.
Good, glad someone taking the bull by the horns here, that's a good thing. Okay, any discussion about it? Do you want a motion, I suppose, with, so...
And then if you can sign one copy, we will get them all sent out.
Okay.
If you all just sign one.
Sign one of the
It doesn't
copies?
matter, yeah.
Oh, I didn't see the signature one. Okay.
There you are.
All right, we're glad to do that.
Thank you.
Okay, request to raise boards at Furnace Street Culvert.
So I was contacted by Brad Chase, who is with the Massachusetts Division of Marine Fisheries, and myself, Steve Hayward, Mr. Chase, our Board of Health agent Bob Valerie, and a few other individuals from the state sat down and met. As you have all discussed, one of the priorities is getting the herring back up to Mont Ponce, and you had the Alewife Restoration Committee. In speaking with Mr. Chase, one of the things that he thought we could do as in the short term is to raise the boards at the Furnace Street culvert just a few inches so that the herring would have the ability to basically flow through there. So I attached his email in the printed documents, and so he's asking for basically to do that, and then he would assist, him and his crew would be willing to assist Mr. Hayward and his team in doing so. And then also he is requesting that that we support moving forward with a study on the hydrology, hydraulics, and conditions and operation of the Elm Street and Furnace Street culverts. So I've been working with the Taunton River Stewardship Council, and Bill Napolitano, who's going to assist us in preparing a grant application to conduct a study. And so, yeah, really two things here. And in the raising the boards, I would say just the caveat that if you were to approve it, make it subject to, the approval of Steve Hayward as well. So Steve's been involved in it, but we want to make sure the water level goes down a little bit before we actually do it, just so there's no issues.
Isn't this somewhat related to the first thing we took up with the pond management?
Not necessarily. So the pond management is more based on the treatment of the ponds and that aspect of it, where this is more short-term and looking to just restore, do something in the short term for this current season.
Oh, I see, okay. Any
No, I mean, it makes sense. I do think we need to have Steve looped into it, so.
He's been involved.
Yep,
Steve's,
so,
he's
yeah,
been-
whatever we went from here would be, like you say, pending Steve's involvement.
And what do you want us to do? Vote to approve?
Yeah.
So we're approving,
Raising the boards.
Raising the boards at Furnace Street, the culvert.
all right. Any comments about that? No? Well, I was waiting for you.
I know.
Come on. If they don't hop right up there, I'll forget you.
Chairman Gillespie, non-Richmond. Yeah, so those sluice boards really serve no purpose anymore. They're just slowing down the water flow, backing it up. They're creating eutrophic conditions in the river. It is a river that flows out of Monpont all the way to Robbins Pond into the Sawtucket. So this needs to be done pretty quick. Once the water hits 50 degrees, we're going to see the herring come up. Right now, Stanley Kravitz, who owns the cranberry bogs down there by Robbins Pond, he has all canals open, so there's plenty of ability for the water to flow out. I wouldn't worry about that. You still have Stump Brook Dam in front of it slowing things down, and 2 other box culverts, so I think the quicker we do that, the better, especially with the water being so high right now around the lakes. The quicker we do it, the better. I don't think there's any danger downstream of flooding just from those. I think there's about 3 or 4 sluice boards in there. It's not that big. And it would also give the chance for the river to kind of flush out a little bit. But right now, what I have observed lately is Stanley has 3 separate canals that can release water from Robbins Reservoir into Robbins Pond and down the Sawtucket. So there's no issue there. We need to do that pretty soon because the water is fixing to hit 50.
Okay, so you're in favor of this?
Absolutely.
Yep.
Just to add to that, there's no issue the further you get down past Setauket. Steve Goodman, 24th Ave, because the Setauket connects to the Taunton River. And so technically all of that, someone should be in touch with the Taunton River watershed people because any tributary to the Taunton River is part of the watershed. So the Setauket River, by its connection all the way to Monpont, is all part of the Taunton River watershed. So
I think you said you were
any management that can happen, like you said, as quick as possible, even if it's a short term, before we get, waiting is only going to cause more problems.
Okay. Any other comments about this?
Can I just ask, it's multiple boards we're looking to take out? Do we know? Is it?
I think Mr. Chase recommended starting with one.
With one board?
And doing a 6-inch drop, and then evaluate going from
See
there.
how it goes.
Wait a couple days, and then drop another one potentially.
Okay.
And he is super involved, and he's talked to Mr. Kravitz and a lot of other people in the area, and they've done a lot of their research. They also will do some markings before they even do any of the boards to check water levels, and they'll continuously check those just to make sure that there's no potential issues.
Should we make a motion here that kind of, so we don't have to come back after, say he wants to do another board, that's not.
I would just say give the authorization to lift the boards.
Yeah.
And then,
Right.
rely on the expertise of
That's what I was getting.
Mass Fisheries and our team here to.
Yep. Yep.
I don't have concerns about that.
Yeah.
Okay, so is that your motion to,
Yeah.
well, we're not
Raise the
authorizing
boards.
anything, right? We're just,
You'd authorize the removal of the boards at the
okay.
Furnace Street
All right.
culvert.
And subject to the highway surveyor's involvement. Okay.
Yeah.
Any, that'd be a motion?
Yeah, it's my motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. Regional dispatch agreement?
We got a couple of scheduled, John.
Oh, geez, I'm sorry. I apologize, I didn't see that. I'm really off schedule. 6:15, Heather Sylvia. Sorry, I apologize, I forgot. Come on up.
But now you get to be caught up in all the waterways of Halifax, so there you go.
That's my mistake. We keep trying to save paper, but my efficiency drops every time we do that, so. You want to, let's see, you need a one-day liquor license for the farm at Ravenbrook. You want to just tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, so I just started my own business last summer with my partner. So we own a dry hire mobile bar. So on that day, we'll be doing mocktails and able to serve wine as well.
And this is the second one of these you've done this year?
Yeah, no, actually, this will be the first one.
This year?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. All right, any questions from anybody on the board?
Have you done similar events before, Heather?
So we got started late last summer. No public. I've done one private party. That's it. But now we're starting to grow, so.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
So we have, it's, to give you a little advertising, is that what you like? You don't mind that? May 12th, 2024?
Yes.
Yeah, and let's see here. Serving of beer and wine between the hours of 10 and 4 at the farm at Ravenbrook on Wood Street. Okay, good. And-
But it'll actually just be wine, because there's actually someone else serving beer.
Oh, okay,
That'll be there, yeah.
good. Okay, any questions from anyone on the board?
No?
Nope.
We get a good turnout.
Yeah, wish you good
Thank,
luck.
yeah.
Yeah, I hope it works out. It looks like fun.
Thank you.
All right, so I'll make a motion that we approve the one-day license.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed?
Thank
It's
you.
unanimous. Good luck. Congratulations. I hope it works out for you. All right. So that puts us right on schedule. Tammy Herschel. Hi. And again, I apologize. Got caught up doing the wrong things. I missed the appointments a little bit. So you're here about the Ragnar event that has been in town for, at least 10 years.
So yeah, it was originally a Cape Cod course, and we've kind of reimagined it, so we start in Groton, Connecticut, and we end in Quincy. But this will be our 4th year on the route that we are currently on. And so we have stops planned at the elementary school and then at Silver Lake High School, I think would be the closest next after that.
Okay, and so all you're interested in is having us approve it?
Yeah, I have a DOT permit, like a notification document for our Department of Transportation permit.
Yep.
And then I've reached out to the school as well, just to confirm that we're able to use their parking lot.
And let's see here, so the dates will be May 17th through the 18th?
Yes, sir.
And there'll be a 200-mile long distance relay, so that sounds like fun.
And you'll be here early in the morning, right?
We
Through
will, yeah, you
Halifax?
probably won't even,
We'll
yeah,
we're
late
gonna-
at
we'll be
night,
sleep-
and
Most of us will be sleeping when you're running through town.
yeah, you won't even know we're here.
Yeah.
All right, any questions?
How many folks are you expecting?
We have 100, we're hoping about 120 teams, so 120 people, one member of the team at a time will be running through, but they are teams of 6 or 12, so anywhere from 1,000 to 1,200 total, but only half the teams at a time are even in the area because they switch off every 6 legs. So everyone will be at Silver Lake because that's what we call a major exchange, that's where the vans switch off, but only half the teams at any given time are coming through any of the communities.
And how many miles are we talking for some of these folks?
Some of them will be running over 20. There's a leg right now from Cranston into Johnston, Rhode Island, that is a little over 10 miles, and I think I just routed one this afternoon that will be a little over 11. So they won't be very happy with me, but
More power to
I'm
them.
giving them beer at the finish. So.
Oh, there you go. Talk to the wine lady when you're done.
It's wine. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the same week, right?
I wish you luck.
Thank you very much.
All right, so I'll make a motion that we approve the Ragnar race to be held going through Halifax between May 17th and 18th.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So this just needs one signature. Okay,
I
good.
wish you good weather.
Thank you. Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
It rained 2 years ago.
All right, I don't know if you need copies of this,
Well, what
but
I'll do is I will send you a letter or I'll email it to you because I have the fire and the police also signed off, so I'll just scan it and give it to you, okay? Yes, I am.
You may want to just mention that the Allen's thing is going to be pushed to this 1/3, the conservation, so we're going to push that to the 23rd.
Sure. So this was the first event, so how do we pay, and is it a
Okay.
physical license,
So
or?
yeah, I have a
I don't
physical
know if you
license
took it.
for you,
It's still
and what I'll
Allen's
do
thing,
is I
it's
can
still
take
on the
copies of
agenda.
it and I'll do
It is.
tomorrow.
So if you want to just make an announcement, that's
yeah,
great.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, sorry, I thought you were attending on that.
No, I didn't see it on
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
Obviously, I'm not paying attention
Yeah,
to
nope.
that.
I'll do that tomorrow, I'll send her.
I think my wife did that Ragnar thing.
Really?
South Shore Hospital used to do it.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
God love her.
Well, she didn't do much with it.
Still,
You do all different distances.
I only run if I'm being chased to the ice cream truck. That's it.
All right,
saying
we
that's
did have an
Bob.
appointment at 6:45, I think, with Alan Diaz regarding his request to be appointed to the Conservation Commission. Mr. Diaz is on vacation, so he can't make that thing tonight. I think we're going to tentatively schedule for the 26th.
23rd.
27th, okay. All right, so that won't happen, that's not going to happen tonight. Okay, now, that does it for appointments, I believe. So we can go back up to the intermunicipal agreement with Duxbury regarding dispatch. This has been in effect for many years, I think. It's not really any change as far as the contract goes.
There are no changes to the contract. This is, we had a 3-year contract with The Rock. This is a 1-year agreement, like I said, in reviewing the previous form and this form, and they confirmed there are no changes. Our assessment remains the same as well at $200,000. We are doing a 1-year contract because we anticipate another community actually maybe joining The Rock this year. And if they do, we would expect a cost decrease to us for the following years. So that's why we're only doing a 1-year agreement. So we just need this done, so we are good to go on July 1st with the new agreement.
Everybody in the fire and police are all happy with it, just like it has been for several years now?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So I'll make a motion that we agree to the contract with the regional dispatch agreement.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Here, she should sign both.
We got everybody in the world signing off on this, including you.
They didn't draft, I didn't draft it, they did.
And somehow Naja got promoted to the top
I
of the
know.
list.
I saw that. What's up with that?
I'm in the middle of some of them. It's fine.
Yeah.
You upset about it?
You gotta start wearing a tie then. That's it.
What?
You're the only one.
I gotta be able to
You're
breathe.
the only one sitting here that would really
It's a
appreciate
thick
that
neck here. I
anyway.
gotta.
Okay, eye insurance adoption.
Yes, so this is, the town currently does not offer eye insurance, vision insurance to its employees. So we get our insurance through the Mayflower Municipal Group. They offer vision insurance. Us offering it to employees would be no cost to the town. The employee would be expected to pick up the total cost, but it would just be an option for them to now to actually get the insurance. So I included all the paperwork on it, and I also included what the employee rates would be, and you can see they're actually pretty reasonable. So for just the subscriber, a single person, it would be $4.58 a month.
Wow.
And then them plus their family would be $12.60 a month. So it's like I said, it's a good, we definitely should offer this to our employees. I had heard that we didn't, and so I looked into it, and I thought this would be great, and no cost to the, to the town, so I see no negative.
Why do we have to vote on this?
Mayflower Municipal Group just requires that the board vote to offer it because it's part of our benefits package.
Because I'm thinking, one of the things that we'd like to talk about in the off-season, after town meeting, is reworking our human resources, wage and personnel thing. And I'd like to, I would think this kind of thing would be all part of that, like the benefit package and everything would be all part of what the human resources, wage and personnel people would be doing.
This would still require your vote as the Board of Selectmen, as technically the chief executive of the town.
Yep.
They just require it because it's part of the benefits that we offer. And while there's no cost to us, it's still being administered through us.
Yeah.
So it's a decision that you have to make to offer it.
All right, any other comments, questions?
No, I think it's a
So
good
I'll
idea.
move that we approve the IMED vision benefits.
I'll second that.
Any discussion?
No?
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. Connecting Rods Auto Club, this is an annual thing.
It
We
is.
are looking for live entertainment, starting May 30th,
May 30th.
2024 through October 11th. Mr. Smith has to be sober, but they're not selling any alcohol anyway, so it doesn't matter. Okay, so we'll make a motion that we approve the live entertainment, radio and DJ to make announcements for the Connecting Rods Auto Club.
I'll second that.
Any discussion?
Just real quick, John, on are we waiting on a fire chief?
No, he did sign it.
He signed it?
I just
Okay.
got that today.
No, it's okay here.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep.
And then he
Okay.
went in to get his food permit from the Board of Health, which he'll be sending that back, so.
Okay. All right, then, never mind.
Okay, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. All right. Let's see here. Reappointment of Jacqueline Canapino. So this is just a reappointment? Yes. All right, and she's been recommended by the Cultural Council?
Correct.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we reappoint Jacqueline Canapino to the Halifax Cultural Council for the term ending March 9th, 2027.
Second.
Any discussion?
No.
Okay, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. You can tell Pam I signed it in the right spot.
Hey, that's the first for everything.
All right, updates. MBTA action plan.
So we're still waiting to hear back from the state. No new updates on that. Morse Brothers, I was notified today that they have finished the work under their existing earth removal permit. So that is all done. Any further work, they'll need to come back for an additional permit.
Well, the permit went for a whole year, didn't it?
But it's project-based.
That's on the
So
amount
they've
of
finished-
soil.
Taking all the soil out.
Yeah, they've done
Yeah.
everything under this project. So if they were to move forward with an additional project beyond their regular cranberry operation, then they would have to come in and apply.
So we need to get,
So they're going to provide us with the estimates. We'll have our engineer review those estimates, and we'll approve all of that once we get them in and bring it to you so you're aware.
I have to say that, I mean, we had a few complaints, we expect some, but the complaints were a little bit hard to fathom because the complaints were that they were being too careful when they're driving the trucks
Too
around.
slow.
I know there was one little bit of a hiccup on some of the special education transportation people, but other than that, it was like, well, they go too slow. So, as far as I could tell, everything went smoothly, so that was good to see, good to see.
I will note, as soon as I was made aware of the bus situation there with the time that we had missed with the special ed bus, I sent it to them, and they immediately responded and said, okay, we will not have the trucks down there at that time that I told them, so, and they adjusted their schedule.
Hopefully, we can get them to the point where, you know, they'll work with the neighborhood, you know, because that's, you know, it's an issue, there's no question about it. It's a tight, small streets and older streets, older neighborhood that does have to bear a burden, but, you know, if we can work with them, and it seems like so far we're making some progress, and I'm really happy to see that.
You're in the other meeting room.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yes.
Amy Troop, 10 Hillside Ave. You didn't receive any other comments or any other complaints due to the fact that it was done in the Aquifer Protection Zone? You received 0 complaints about that?
about the aquifer protection zone?
That's correct.
I don't think we did, no.
You absolutely did.
Did you say so? What, from who?
One, me, and other people.
What was the complaint?
The complaints about the fact that you were not supposed to give the permit in our aquifer protection zone because...
Oh, that's not what we were talking about. We were talking about...
But it is, because it's the Morse project that you gave a permit on, and it's done now, and you did receive plenty of complaints, and you had a whole room full of people here telling you not to give that permit.
We heard that. We
So
were past
you
that.
did, no, you're not, because you're telling people now that you only received complaints about what happened on the streets as far as
True.
in our neighborhood, but the town, and I know a lot of people have sent in complaints regarding the fact that it was done in the aquifer protection zone. So that's true. So there is definitely, and I know that I sent one directly to you, Mr. Seelig, correct?
You did.
So put it on record that there were actually complaints about the fact because our water is not the same anymore. We have a problem. So you can't just sweep that under the rug because you're admitting, right, again, that you received at least a complaint from me, and I know that I know for a fact that I was not the only one.
Okay, thank you.
So that is now on record.
Thank you. Training for boards and committees?
I have no new updates on that. General updates, very excited. We will be launching Halifax tomorrow morning.
Yes.
So that'll be live on our website.
I love
And really hope people utilize that rather than turning to social media where there's a lot of misinformation out there. So that'll be up and running. We conducted town accountant interviews with our team this week. We had several really great candidates, actually, that we met with. And so we will be bringing forward an applicant to you, likely at your next meeting, for recommendation of appointment. And the only other update is, I have my notes here. Oh, in regards to the zoning changes at the special town meeting, the Attorney General was to provide us with a response by yesterday. We were notified late last week that they had received several complaints regarding the zoning change. While at the surface, none of them seem to really have any validity, they do just want to take the time to review them. So council has granted their extension request, and they will now have the decision back to us by June.
What zoning?
For the senior housing overlay district.
They received complaints from...
They received three complaints. I was told that two of them were from the same individual and one of them, so two different individuals.
Oh, okay, individual complaints.
Resident complaints, or?
They didn't go into detail on,
Okay.
but that they were just, complaints from the town.
Right to the Attorney General's office?
Correct, yep.
Okay. Whatever, that's up to the Attorney General's
So,
office.
so the Attorney General will review those. Council is the one that technically has the authority to grant it, and it made sense to grant them the authority to review those and make sure that, we want to make sure we're doing everything by the law as well, so we have no problem with them reviewing to make sure that we're abiding.
Yes?
I wanted to know when in June the extension was granted till?
I believe it was June 5th. I don't have the exact date on me.
Okay, about that.
Yeah, right around there, beginning of June.
Okay, looks like that's the end of our agenda.
It is, yes it is.
Well done. Is that because you're going on vacation?
That's right, I am.
I guess we'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
So moved. Seconded by Nader.